Okay, I'm here with Yogi Shambu, and we're starting a series of discourses between Elijah, the love prophet, and Yogi Shambu.
Yes.
And each of us has pursued a spiritual path.
Yes, we have.
Each of us is very excited about sharing what it is with somebody, and then a larger audience to go into deeper discussions about important matters for our species and for us human beings. And so I would like to introduce the audience to Yogi Shambu, who, of all the people I've met, is someone who has a high degree of integrity and a high degree of excellence in attaining certain things with the body, the mind, the spirit, the soul. And I'm very excited and happy that he's here, and that he's another one of the sort of hidden gems of Canada. That Canada is filled with enlightened beings that sort of, nobody even knows about, and they're not going to tell you, and they don't even think they are. But from my point of view, he has a very enlightened point of view, and has studied some very deep teachings through the Eastern worldview, and coming in with yoga, and coming in with disciplines of the mind. And so here is Mr. Yogi Shambu. And
Elijah. Thank you so much, Elijah, for being able to see me in such a quieted way. You truly have been one of the most enjoyable and lucid brethren that I've had the fortune to sustain discourse and truly mark intelligent time. We have spent so much wonderful time together, and also for your spontaneous fashions.
wait, give me the camera here.
This is great, eh? Just keep on rolling.
No, but I want you to keep talking. Gotta switch that.
Thank you so much. My life has been filled with compulsion, some healthy, some not healthy, but I have had the fortune and the blessings of being compulsive and serving around many great people. The people that I've had fortune to live and grow up around have been craftspeople and masters and repetitive in nature. And so many of the enjoyments that I experience personally within my being through my awareness is because of repeated behaviors that I do every day. Very simple actions, but when they're done over time, they give amazing things. Yeah. What do you think, Elijah? What do you repeat that brings you profound experiences?
Well, if I'm honest in the world about how I really live, it's a very strange thing, because every day there's an open canvas that something comes through, and it's very different. There isn't a lot of repetition, but there is a lot of repetition with, let's say, visiting people, or going to the coffee shop and mapping, or working on the computer, or making videos, or filming people, or walkabout, or reading, or meditating, or hiking, or loving, or making love, or massaging, or all of these things we do all day. I've been playing with the idea that it can be rearranged, it can be configured, it can be, a lot of people get stuck in a 40-hour work week, and they do the same things, and they're lacking so many other things that they would do if they had the time. So our work week has been scheduled to keep us as slaves. So when you design from 20 hours as your work time to make money, you design with that first in mind. The reason I bring this in terms of repetition is I'm here to change the nature of how we repeat ourselves, because we're trapped in these sort of uses of time in the mind and outside that keep humanity in this trap. And I know that you, Mr. Yogi, are coming at it with the repetition, consistency of a spiritual practice. And that is something which I want to bring more into my life, because I'm noticing when I do it, and after watching your video about the, why are you so loving? Because you have a consistent practice. A lot of people would think, I'm loving, I have to go love everybody. But no, start with yourself and get yourself good. Get yourself in love with yourself, doing the right things. And that's what I learned from you. Because you're a very strong proponent of that, which I lack.
Mm. It is what a wonderful thing to say that we have time. We wake up and we have 4 hours until noon oftentimes. How are we going to then demarcate that time and assign it to really all actions that we do every day are a ritual. And so because it's a ritual, by definition, it has effect on all realms. What are the rituals and what are the effects that we are assigning to each hour? For me, I feel greatest when I have about an hour and a half in the morning, about 45 minutes after my work day into the evening, and then about at least a half hour before I go to bed. But even 15, realistically, 15 minutes and 5 minutes to enjoy it. Yeah, that's the amount that I spend. Plus some masturbation time, of course, because that, with such a tense life that we do hold, we have to accept that there's physical tension that can only be worked out through enjoyment and relaxation. Yeah. So, Mr. Elijah?
I haven't come across many shows on TV that would, let's say, bring in masturbation. But there's not a lot of shows talking about sex, but there's a lot of people watching porn. There's a lot of people thinking about sex. There's a lot of people having sex. There's a lot of sex happening, and sex seems to be really important to most humans. A lot more than a lot of other things that get a lot of attention, but they're actually thinking or wanting sex. So to bring up your own personal sex, I think is very important, because in us reflecting our media and changing the nature of how we see ourselves, we have to redefine everything, including sex, how we talk about it, why we talk about it in certain ways. What I see on the normal corporate media is a slanting of sex, is an abuse of sex, is the violence of sex, is the true romance, the true beauty, the true communion of people isn't being honored in the same way. And so we don't see in our surroundings the possibilities of much deeper and stronger, more spiritual connections with people because of what I just said. And so part of this media, part of Planetary Guardians media, part of you being the media, part of us as human beings sharing media is we are now sharing ourselves as a species. We are being seen by the world. The internet gives everyone the ability to create media, to be seen out there, to show what is your perspective or what you want to broadcast to your network. And so that means a more contained media, a smaller media. We are all choosing where we look for our information, what sources are coming in. And what we're asking you is to bring more of your attention to the things that make you thrive. Bring more attention to the things that have the best for the species in mind, and only watch that. We have to eliminate giving attention to the corporate media, because all I see is lies, 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 war, 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 violence, violence, violence. We can't, the only way to stop it is to completely ignore it from everybody. They have no validity anymore. They are the problem. They are not covering the problem, they are the problem. And it's us humans to take back our power, to show where our attention goes, and to watch the things that spiritually inflame us, inspire us, make us amazing as we go towards a different destiny of peace rather than war.
Dumbfounded is a good response to many great proclamations, and that was very true. I remember Beck, the great artist. I got a devil's haircut in my mind. and he just fasted from media for one of his shows. It was 1 year that he took in no media, and he produced the album that he felt was he was happiest with. Okay, that part I think was a lie, actually. That's funny. But every single day I spend time doing things that are of value. And regional proximity. I spend time growing food. I spend time in education and discourse with the people around me. We can never be seduced. The problem with media is that it puts a star out there. But regional stars emerge from within through the actions that we do every day. And how we break our day up is the rubber meets the road when it comes to revolution. We are a revolution every single minute, every single hour. We are changing what is broadcast to and from our bodies, and that's all we can do is be satellites of craft and hope and art and all things good. Yeah. Thank you, Elijah, so much for such a wonderful discourse. We have a value, great value.
Inside of Canada, there's a growing number of people that don't want war, don't believe the official story of 9/11, understand that the banking industry is the problem,